going to make keto chocolates. This is a great way to get more fat into your child's diet. It consists of coconut oil, butter, and unsweetened Hershey's cocoa, and a little bit of sweetener. Our daughter has 2 of these every single night as her nighttime snack before she goes to bed. And it's a good treat for her, and like I said, a good way to put extra fat into their diet. I keep all my recipes in a binder. I just print out the recipes and put them in here. And so I'm going to do what I call nighttime chocolates. I'm actually going to multiply the recipe, and I'm going to make 40 of them. So this is what we're going to need for the recipe. We're going to need coconut oil, butter, unsweetened Hershey's cocoa, and liquid sweetener, and I use Sweet and Low. And that's it. Well, what I also use actually is these little foil baking cups. I'll take them out here. These little foil baking cups, and they're pretty much very similar to what you see in a candy store. The first thing I'm going to do is measure out the coconut oil. So 0 out. And on this one, I'm going to times it by 40, so I need 80 grams. And this coconut oil, if you've never worked with it before, you just store it in the cabinet. It's not supposed to be refrigerated, and it is quite hard. So I just measured out 80 grams of coconut oil, and now I'm going to add the butter. And for the butter, I actually, I'm looking at my book, I added 80 grams as well, and this is for 40 nighttime chocolates, as I call them. You'll have to adapt it to your own needs. Zero this out. Now I'm going to measure out my chocolate, the Hershey's cocoa, and on this we're going to do 6 grams. Again, I'm making these in bulk. So, now I'm going to put my Hershey's cocoa in here, and I'm also going to put the liquid sweetener in, and I do about 60 drops. So now that everything's in here, I just mix it all up, and again, the coconut can be quite clumpy, so I just really take my spoon and mash it all together. I know some people might have a preference for putting it in the microwave on a low temperature. For me, that's always worked out. For me, that hasn't worked out because it's been too liquidy, so I just take this and make sure I mix it up really, really well. It takes some time and a little bit of muscle power, but it does mix. So I just try to really get all the coconut clusters all broken out. So I finished mixing the mixture. It took me a couple minutes because I really try to mash it, all the coconut oil, to make it a smoother consistency. There are still some clumps in there, small clumps, but my daughter doesn't mind. It's kind of like an almond, what is that? Almond Joy bar, if you remember those. So now I'm going to take my baking cups, foil baking cups, and you really try to use foil so that it doesn't absorb into the paper liner cups. So I just put my foil cup on here, zero it out, and the ones that I've done for my meal plan are 4.1, so I just put a little mound on here in the cup, and 3.6, so we need a little bit more, 4.1, and then I put them in this, I'm actually going to freeze, so I put them in this pan here and put these in the freezer, and keep them in the freezer, and just pull them out. As we need them, 40 will last quite a while, which is great. So it saves me a little bit of time during the week that I always have this snack available. So now that I've made all of my keto chocolates, I put them in the freezer, and that way we can pull them out as needed. We can add them to a meal plan with her chicken, or like I said earlier, Katie likes to have it as her nighttime snack with a little bit of cheese. So I'm going to put these in the freezer, And now I don't have to make them for another 2 weeks.